30 years of animation, what do you think it would be?
Not
Joke's
mech
on
anime.
you. Joke's on you. It's fucking isekai. Welcome to Content Breaker. He's Guy. I'm Kelz. Of course, joined by Strangely Entertaining. This week we're talking about what is with all the isekai.
I've been looking forward to this topic. Very much escapism. I think that in the blank slates. Gotta have the blank slates. If it works for off-brand anime, it can work for the main brand anime. Let's go.
Yeah. I think escapism. I think it's because there's so much going on in the world, and each year there's more crap that's just getting heavier, and people want to escape to a new world where there's probably worse stuff, but you're overpowered and take care of it.
Yeah, screw the lives around you that have been living there for however long. It's time for you to come in and rule the world, or whatever you want to do.
As you should.
Yeah. There is so much isekai at this point that we've looped back upon itself and are just like now riffing on the genre. Like this season, there is so much isekai, I could put a link to it. And we'll touch on some of that. That's part of the question of, is the genre oversaturated? But before we get into that, let's talk about what the fuck is an isekai?
Well, an isekai is a story where a character is reincarnated either. Well, they don't even have to be reincarnated. They're taken out of their world and placed in another, because the common misconception is that character has to die to end up in that other world, which is not. Sometimes they can be summoned, sometimes they can XYZ, but it's most commonly is that the character will urge a death or dying in the world. But in very few instances, the character is not dead. That's like very few. Recent knowledge, the ones I can think of the most are like ReZero, Shield Hero, Overlord. Like the slim few I can think of where the character doesn't die, but a lot more.
I mean, even ReZero, we gotta touch on that. One of the major tropes is that, you die in real life and you are reincarnated into this fantasy or scientific world that is different than your own.
Mostly fantasy. Very specifically.
Mostly. Fantasy.
Or a vending machine.
Again. We've looped back upon ourselves. The Ouroboros is eating its tail now.
And soon anime will cease to exist once it has consumed itself.
No, if only not. But transported to a different world. And it's a very popular genre nowadays. It's in vogue. But it's all, Japan's been doing this since way back with Urashima Taro. Y'all know about Urashima?
It's a folk tale. I'm aware of that.
It's a folk tale where fisherman, there's a turtle being bullied, and fisherman goes, "Hey, kids, stop bullying that turtle." And the turtle's like, "Yo, you're a real, fine individual. I'll take you to hang out with the princess Otohime." And man's like, "I spent several days with hanging out with the princess," and it turns out it's been like 100 years. Real snake way bullshit. But really, really traditional. We've been doing this kind of out of time and space thing for a while. That said, we have a number of modern tropes that really frame out the genre of isekai that you will likely run into,
or
picking whatever show,
or it'll run into you.
Like number 1, Truck-kun, the harbinger of death.
Yes.
I'm like slightly scared to go to Japan because I'm like, how many trucks hit innocent pedestrians every day in Japan alone?
It's kind of funny. Okay, it's not funny at all. But there's also like that's like the fans like really good about that of people not dying on like railroads or getting like in car accidents and everything. Like it's they're very I think they're like the lowest in the world for that or something. Because I know it happened like 2 or 3 years ago. That someone had fortunately murdered their girlfriend or a random girl that they had met online, and they had tried to escape and ran away, and then they got hit by a train. They were panicking. It was like the first hit in a train in like years, and it was so like uncommon that they were able to pinpoint exactly who it was and all this and that. So, not Truck-kun is not as common in Japan as it is would be somewhere in the States here. I feel like
Shit,
Truck-kun.
a bus just like a pickup truck just ran into a bus and killed the driver like yesterday in my hometown. Like, traffic is bad in the US, but
Wow.
it's a plot device. It's a plot device.
Like almost divine intervention, I guess, if it's really that common. Like, no, you were destined to die, so here's a truck. That's how we. I don't.
Yeah,
It's like the serial killer from I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
yeah, he never shows up, but there's a whole plot where he like shows up in another show.
There's more, anyways.
Um,
Not taken away from Isekai.
In another
Yeah.
world, perhaps.
Kai, you had something.
Yeah. So I'd say Truck-kun is definitely one of the tropes, but now as we like get into more modern isekai, I'm starting to see a lot more summonings. Like Shield Hero is probably the most prominent one. Characters like not died and like summoned to another world for a purpose. Or Realistic Hero rebuilds the kingdom, like which is like great isekai. It's very like technical. It's definitely up your wheelhouse, Kelz, because it deals with like the logistics of like bringing a kingdom out of debt and establishing trade and like clean water and all that and curing ill all that with modern medicine. So that one's really good. But yeah, like that's a trope that I feel like we're seeing more of lately. Is like the summoning opposed to like the just death. But nah, death is like the most common. Truck-kun has claimed countless lives. And I know this shouldn't be a sentence, but the most funny Truck-kun for me, like Zombieland or Zombie Idol, where there's like this girl, a zombie, and she joins the idol group, zombies. Like she's literally like walking out of her house, and it's like, today it's gonna be a great day, and she just gets rickrolled. Like, just it's pretty horrible because it's like 2 minutes her going to go live her dream and head to her audition and like be happy. And it's like, why was the truck that close to the curve? Like, it's not even her fault. It's tragic. When are we gonna arrest the drivers of Truck-kun? I want to see an anime where Truck-kun gets like just comeuppance.
Yeah, what if there's never a driver?
Well, it's been the same multiverse hopping person driving this truck in every anime.
No, it's an Oni truck. Like it's a demon truck. Don't get my hopes up.
Don't get my hopes up.
It all started with that magical girl anime I can never remember.
Sailor Moon?
Minky Momo. Minky Momo.
Minky Momo.
Minky Momo. It all started with Minky Momo.
Oh, if only. Then Yu
All
Hakusho
started-
picked up the lead, and then
Astro.
yeah, yeah. Astro
I should
Boy,
have
the
gotten the
Superman of
coffee.
Japan.
Not your wife's. I don't know what happened. I just got a wave of sleepiness.
Yeah,
Hit
we're
me
just
like a
so
truck
bored
in.
by isekais at this point.
No, isekais
So-
are super interesting.
Art to tell me more. Anyway, one other trope that isekais typically follow is that the protagonist is overpowered.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. It's because it's just always done, or maybe they don't start off that way, but they'll get there eventually. Or like the first 3 episodes is solely dedicated to powering up this one specific, like I'm trying to think of something where, and they're all like video gamey as well, which maybe that's why I like them so much, because they're like, now we're in a fantasy world. Look, I have a UI. Everything. I have a UI.
You said
interface.
UI, but for some reason I heard a T in the middle of that.
Yeah, sure. It's
Jesus Christ.
a UI interface, and like everything's all video gamey, and I got stats, and even in the best ones, it's like, here's a card that's has my class and it's magic, and I can allocate skill points, and every single one of them.
No, not every single one of them.
Definitely none of the.
Just sword art and Naofumi
Shield Hero,
Shield Hero.
Sword art, shield hero, slime,
Overlord.
Overlord.
No, not in slime. Not in slime. You capping
Yeah.
on that one. Capping. No, he doesn't have like a card with his stuff. He has skills.
Has a whole being inside his brain that helps.
That's
him
not a
allocate.
card, though. That's not anything like the others.
Monster-cado.
Not specifically a card, but you allocate skill points. Is what I'm
Well,
trying to say.
okay,
It's
that's
a
different.
little video
than,
gamey is what I'm
okay,
trying to
you
say.
said like a card. Like I'm thinking of the screen thing that pops up on Naofumi and Ainz and all that stuff. Okay, I was like, that is not.
So
Mines makes sense
We're-
because he literally came from a video game.
we're coming back to it. Protago's OP, Mushoku Tensei. Motherfucking really remembers the last 30 years of his life and is a genius.
Shadow and
Other
Eminence.
shows. Yeah, everybody comes back and either is shitty to begin with or is OP. And we just go on an adventure with what that means.
Kagome's not overpowered, is she?
Kagome.
Yes, he's a priestess who can use the Shakon jewels. That's major.
She's the reincarnation of his
Keiko.
girlfriend, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I just
how you gonna come back and smash your
I'm
your
not.
ancestor's ex?
I mean,
what a flex.
At least she smashed Keiko. Did Keiko smash?
I think they kissed, but
And that
Close-
hurt.
closest-
Naraku. Onigumo. We'll yeah. So we MMO subgenre we're coming back to with gamified aspects kind of tied in, sprinkled. There's a lot of fucking overlap because we've been doing this so long. One other trope is that there's either no way to get back to the original world or there's no reason to want to.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, it makes sense to not want to come back.
Does it? Does it?
For the most part, I guess. Depending on how crappy your life is. I suppose.
Yeah. Yusuke was like, man. Mom's
I mean-
a hag. Go on.
With Yusuke, I love the fact that like he had accepted it. He's like, "Well, I've lived my life," and Botan was like, "Wait, what? You don't want a second chance?" He's like, "Nah." Like, then he did end up back.
They always do. I guess my issue with this is like a lot of the setup is like people suffering in the real world, and it's not like necessarily overt. It's just like the real world is shitty. Why would I want to go back? And then they find like the joy of life in the new space.
I mean, yeah,
And
if you had overpowered skills and abilities, I guess you could enjoy. Like, you go
That's
to-
well, I have a theory. I don't
Uh-huh.
know if this is true. I haven't read ahead, but I feel like, well, maybe not. I was gonna say I feel like Naofumi is gonna go back. Maybe not. I haven't read ahead, but
I almost wish he did. Like this world, first world's bad, second world's bad. You made the best of it. Get the fuck out.
because there's another anime by like it's kind of on the same premise. It's called Alpharetta, from Commonplace to A New World. So his character, which is another trope that I feel like happens a lot, is that you have this character sent to another world, and his ability is deemed weak, but the way it works, like super overpowered, because he has an alchemy skill. But him and his class got reincarnated in this other world. So there's like the hero class, and there's all this. Everybody has these broken skills like fighter, healer, cleric, all this. He gets an alchemist. Everybody's like, you're weak, blah, blah, blah. And they feel like he's holding them back. So they try and kill him. And he ends up in the bottom of a dungeon. And he's like, he realizes that he got hoed basically. He's like, I want to die. I don't want to go like this. I don't have anything I can do. So he starts like fighting for his life. And then he like traps and kills like a demon beast and eats it, and he's like throwing up because it's poison to humans. Then he realizes that he has the ability to like synthesize, like his alchemy ability, like synthesize stuff. So he like his stomach basically turns that into protein, and he gets these monstrous powers, and then he becomes OP. And he's like, "Yo, I'm the Revenger. I'm gonna like clear all these dungeons, kill all the people who wronged me, and make it back to real world." So he actually wants to go back. And, no, excuse me. I feel like he's going to make his way back to that real world. So that's an interesting story that I would recommend. The first season's animation was kind of and it's like a little bit harem-y, but like it's really good. And to the point where I'm probably going to read a light novel if season 3 doesn't hurry up and come out.
What anime is it?
Alpharetta from So-and-So to Commonplace. Alpharetta from Commonplace to the World's Strongest. It's really good. I will post the link for you gentlemen in the live chat. And
I
go
think
and watch it.
That's the appeal of. Because I was literally just thinking about that. That's the appeal of isekai. I think, like,
is killing the people who wronged you?
No.
No.
There's so many interesting ideas for anime that just come up. I mean, hold on.
No one was.
Yeah,
what?
no. Well, Kelz was giving me a face.
No, he was just doing the running emoji.
Like, okay, when it first started, it's like, here, we're trapped in a video game. Okay, that's an interesting concept. Cool. Yeah. In this one, you're a slime. Oh, wow, you get to be a, dungeon monster. Or in this other one, oh, this person literally wakes up from, or like just kind of, just gets, Overlord's like trapped in a video game, but also I'm a villain. It's like, oh. It's just kind of like you're throwing darts at a dartboard, but they're all kind of interesting to where eventually we just end up with a vending machine isekai, which doesn't make any sense. Maybe that's the appeal of it. It's just like, let's see what crazy concepts we have. They're all actually kind of interesting. How would that work? Is it actually good? Sometimes, most of the time, no, they're not.
Okay. I was only waiting for the big get there. You're like, is it always interesting? No. No, it's not. But no, I will say I have trash anime that I watch every make me appreciate the good anime. It's not really trash. We put effort into it. I feel like it's worth it and it's good. But it's definitely an anime that I'll be like, okay, this is my trash of the season. And most of the times, they're isekai. Or at least I think they're gonna be trash. Like Black Summoner, I thought was going to be trash. Ended up being one of my favorite animes of the fall season last year. Summer season. And it was an isekai. And
it was good.
Yeah, so isekais are something that I feel like are just something that you don't know. You don't know what you could what could happen. Like, it could be a hit or a miss. Like, because I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of ones, like, I'll just say not Shield Hero. I kind of knew Shield Hero was going to be a top when I saw it. But, like, Slime, when I watched Slime for the first time, I was like, this is just annoying. Why am I going to be into, like, this blue blob? And here I am, like, episode 10 for the Kingdom of Tempest. Like, just hype and the world building. So it's definitely one of the most divisive genres. I feel like probably more divisive than any other genre. Like, normally you're like, okay, I know what to expect with like shonen bullcrap or slice of life.
I think it's just because it's current. And like, and I got a whole thinking about here about mech anime. But I think that like the popular thing at the moment in the zeitgeist is this idea of escapism, is this idea about fantasy, adventure that is different from the monotonous life of modern existence. And because it's so current and it's so popular, you do have both ends of the spectrum of quality, right? You've got the stuff that is really engaging, and you have the stuff that is just filling airtime.
So much.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe also because these characters come from the air quote modern day of society, and then they get transported to a different world, which most of the time is not modern day or society, we can kind of like fish out of water story. We can relate to them as we see the world through their eyes, and we're like, yeah, that makes sense that they would create a cell phone to do whatever,
Dr. Stone goated.
It's like...
Let me wrap up some other tropes, and then we'll move on to talking about specific examples. Other tropes: the protag ain't shit till the adventure starts.
Yep.
Right. Whatever they were doing in the previous world generally doesn't matter, except for this example coming up in the spring season about an isekai after an isekai. How dumb can we get? And there's some subgenres, we're really developing some specific styles of isekai. We've got the MMO RPG subgenre, life is a game. So, SAO, Shield Hero, those kind of things, even to a lesser degree of the shows you were talking about earlier, Strange, that have the kind of game aspect, the kind of not natural skill progression thing. We also have a burgeoning subgenre of slow life. Right? Really taking the example. Yeah. So if I had to say a slow life, Mushoku Tensei, where we dedicate time, and we have more of them coming up. Like, part of the adventure is investing time growing. And that is shown on screen. The small progression is the adventure to begin with.
You say ReZero's like that?
I don't know. I don't define these genres.
I could see that.
But that's a burgeoning genre. As the lines blur with slice of life, we want to see the quaint, minute but meaningful experiences that individuals have.
So, perfect example. The land of Ladon.
Before time. Oh, sorry.
The land of Ladon was so good.
The land of Ladon. If you like isekai and slice of life, honestly,
man, change the name.
It's so wholesome. Just, I don't know but it is just so wholesome because you just go and you follow this girl and learn about her life. Like, she just dead, dying in a hospital bed, and she gets to play video games inside her head or whatever because it's a little bit of advanced future stuff. But then she dies, and then she gets like transported into her favorite video game 200 years later. It's great. And it's just
the her dying in part is not, but the story is great.
I mean, I saw Sword Art Season 2. Don't play.
They're all here for you.
That seems very cute.
And heartbreak.
Yes, Sad Boy September Isekai Edition. Here we come.
I was so mad she didn't ask Asuna to go to the place that Goku.
What?
The only thing that could have made it better.
What does that mean?
Asuna. Well, I see Kakarot. Oh, life.
Kakarot. Yes, subgenres where we begin to blur lines and have commonalities even beyond that to seem fun. Those are a whole bunch of tropes as we meander through this. Let's get into specific examples and why we think they are very memorable, positive, negative, things that really define the genre for us.
Okay. Y'all go first. I don't want to just say what we. I kind of shed light on one. Shed light. Shed the light on ones that aren't as commonly known.
All right, dibs on the biggest weeb.
Okay.
Spirited Away.
Okay.
Right.
So we have an entire Ghibli film dedicated to a little girl going with her family on an adventure. That family getting suckered into yokai bullshit and her being stuck in a world that is not her own, trying to figure out how to get out. In the most gorgeously animated way an isekai could possibly be done.
Yes. No, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a whole vibe for is that one. How a realistic hero rebuilt the kingdom, I feel like is one very slept on isekai. And it's very good because it follows this boy named Kazuya Soma, who this isekai is so good that he goes by his last name Soma, because the Japanese honorific. So he goes down and he becomes the king, and his name goes down as King Soma. He's like, wait, no, that's not my real name. That's just like my surname. They're like, oh, well, too bad. That's not how we do it here. So this man's first name is known by no one throughout history. So that's like one of the things. But he like gets appointed to rule. Like he has like a subset of magical ability, but it's nothing like overpowered. It's just he was a really good college student and knew the ways of the world and majored in history. So he used stuff from like the ancient Egyptians and Greeks to build like levees and systems and like a whole bunch of like terms like aqueducts gets brought up in there. It's like really good. And then it has a very strong female cast as well. Very good. And it's just like it talks about how what's the most important thing in establishing a kingdom. And it's like someone who can identify food and entertainment. It's so good. It's like one of my favorite isekais, but like no one talks about it. And it does a phenomenal job. Like, I'm buying the manga because it's fortunately there's probably wasn't enough like boobies and dual wielding in it for it to get renewed for another season, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to go read the manga because we keep getting the wrong anime to get more seasons, but whatever.
Yo,
I'm not salty.
Speaking of boobies and dual wielding, Sword Art Online.
Sword Art Online.
I was gonna sing the theme song,
Link
but
Star.
like, isn't that Angel Beat?
Don't worry about it. It's close to Field Crossing or Crossing Fields or whatever.
Yeah.
Sword Art is a perfectly fine example of
Mid.
modern, technically, of a modern day isekai where instead of being teleported to a fantasy medieval world, their consciousness is, and their bodies are in the real world, and there's stakes to get back. Which Sword Art does a very good job in seasons 1 and 2, episode 1 through 12, of like having stakes and being interesting. The second half of both seasons is, as Kai said, mid.
Yeah.
But as an isekai, let's teleport them to a different world and have like stakes and shit. It's an example.
Yeah, it's mid, but it's good mid.
It's
Let
memorable.
me tell you about another mid anime that is an isekai. Why are you sighing?
Give it to me. Give it to me.
All right. But it has such an interesting... Well, it used to be an interesting concept, but now not so much. Because everybody's kind of doing it. Let me tell you about the time I got reincarnated as a spider. It's just so...
It was a Wednesday.
I chose it to be my trash, right? Because I'm like, I usually watch one trash, every now and then, one trash anime, and it is mid. It is not amazing, but the main character, Kumiko, the spider, such just endearing, like the fight for her life, and you're just like, please be okay. We want you to be comfortable and okay. And the rest of her classmates because their whole class gets reincarnated. She's the only one who gets to be a spider. Everybody else gets to be either a vampire or a human or whatever, which we don't really care about. Then there's a whole side story we just do not care about.
I thought
anime was confusing.
I thought this was about a slime. Why are we talking about a spider?
There's reincarnated as a spider and there's reincarnated slime. He picked the lesser of the two for some.
I did.
My bad.
Because I wanted to save it for you. Because
me?
Yes.
Oh no, you can do it. I got all like hipster guys.
Oh, okay.
My IPA isekai.
I did fall in love with it, and another one I did fall in love with as well. Very similar in everything, except probably way more fan service.
And better.
And a lot better. Reincarnated as a slime. You probably can't see him, but there's Rimuru back there on the bookshelf.
Next time, point instead of like
right there.
Next time, go get it. I mean,
edit it in. You want to be an editor, maybe. Probably not anymore.
I need a little table right behind me.
Best.
I'm gonna put a bookshelf here once I fix my house.
All right, another very successful, influential, important one. Coming out of Studio Bind. They made a studio just for this anime. It's gonna be. You know it's gonna end in a final season part 3 when they do that. It's Mushoku Tensei again.
Better not Attack on Titan this. I don't think it will. But yes, so, Mushoku Tensei, man.
Mushoku Tensei, yeah, 30-year-old fucking shut-in gets truck-cooned when he doesn't even go to his parents' funeral and winds up living in a fantasy world where he is not just brought back to life. This motherfucker is reincarnated from birth. Comes out the womb, the first thing he's talking about is titties because he's being breastfed as a child. And it goes from there. We spend the first 3 or 4 episodes with him just learning as a 4-year-old. And from there, it's him learning as a 10-year-old, going on a demon adventure. Such riveting, fun storytelling.
Wow.
I have my problems with it, but overall, very good.
I enjoy it. I think Mushoku Tensei might go down as my favorite isekai at the end. Just like the world building is so good. Just seeing the different characters is so driven. Like the music and the art is so beautiful. Like the whole studio was created just for this anime. So it's definitely super good. Yeah.
Combo of White Fox and Egg Firm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the studio that bought you ReZero and other things that I don't remember. Oh yeah. McRonald's Devil's a part-timer. Yeah.
Like McRonald's.
I was like something.
Devil is a part-timer is one of those that like should probably be an isekai, but not actually. It's a reverse isekai.
And then
while we're on it, if I may, you just mentioned it, ReZero.
Yeah, ReZero for sure. ReZero is another good isekai. It's just really good. It was kind of slow for me. Season 1 was definitely not. It took a lot to grind through, but once you did, it was so worth it. 'Cause it was a whole vibe, super close to being a masterpiece for me, especially with the whole Sanctuary arc, and Garfield and all that, and the Bow Slayer.
Yeah.
But anywho,
very unique premise. Also, I hated that we spent so much time with our protag being an asshole, and I didn't care about him at the end of season 1. Like,
no, that's facts. 100% facts. Like, you were a piece of pool bag. Sucked.
But the moments, man, when they get good, yeah.
Oh no,
it's the fairy tale of isekai.
It. don't tell Zach that. It'll be at your house. Guess you gaslighted me.
I'll Photoshop it with a good score. Anyways, what do you got?
In terms of keeping my hipster, like, you should watch this, but you probably haven't, vibe, Gate is also one of my favorite isekais, because instead of, like, a crazy way of getting transported to this new world, a gate just opens in Tokyo and the Japanese Special Defense Force just drives through it, doing the true American thing and going to go liberate and help, the people on the other side, even though they're probably
things.
doing, and it follows our boy Atome, as he is I don't want to say weeaboo. He's kind of a weeaboo. And him and his group and squadron go into this world, and they, like, come across Rory Mercury, who is a harbinger of death, who has a goddess, and Lele, who is a 15-year-old apprentice to a wizard, and Kuka, whose family was burnt and killed by a dragon. Last elf of that village. And Itomi kind of helps them all find their way, and they go and they save all these people and help the village and everything. And then they come back to America, and there's a scene about how they come back to Japan. So used to saying America. And they come back over to Japan, and they get scrutinized. It's like, oh, you let all these people die, you didn't protect them, why were you even over there, and all this. And then Rory gives this amazing speech about, like, how people treat the military and how, like, they're risking their lives while you sit behind your company desk and do all this. It was really good. I recommend everybody watch Gate. It's a whole vibe. One of, like, the slept on isekai, and one of my favorite, which has the same vein to me as No Game, No Life, which is another really good isekai that, like Gate, like How the Hero Rebuilt a Kingdom, will probably never get finished because the world hates me.
But everybody talks about No Game, No Life and how they love it. How could they cancel it?
Isn't it banned in Australia?
I think so, but everything is banned.
Why?
Oh, yeah. Australia actually tried to ban all anime, fun fact. But we'll get to that. And anime figures are also banned in Australia. So I don't know what's going on with Australia. But if you're getting banned in Australia, you're probably doing something right. But this is another Madhouse production, which is why I feel like it will never, as me and Kelz were talking about in our podcast, about how Madhouse just, decides when they want to stop doing stuff and had a renaissance and then just stopped. But No Game, No Life follows these two siblings who are brought inside they bought a crappy game, and they're like, it's not good. And then they ended up getting turned into the game by a god who calls himself Discord. Which is interesting because I found this anime when I started getting on Discord, and I was like, yo, this is named after No Game, No Life. It was not. And he puts their abilities to the test. They don't have any superpowers. They're just two very cognitive siblings who kind of just had to survive, and, like, their survival instincts help them be really good at games. And it's a really good isekai. I really
very, very pretty. Very well.
Yeah. Oh, very pretty. Yeah, it's Madhouse, man. They were snapping on that one. I am surprised there's one you didn't mention, Strange, and actually put me on, like, your favorites. Baby Hitler.
Oh, Saga of Tanya the Evil. Yes, love that one. Very, very good. No,
Baby Hitler.
All right, premise. Ready? If you have not, go watch it. But so you get this salaryman, right? He's just like, I'm a salaryman. I had to fire somebody today, but my life is normal. Blah blah blah. Well, the dude he fired pushed him onto the train tracks in front of a train, and then apparently time stops, and this big booming voice speaks out, "Hey, pray to me and I might save you." And he said, "Screw you, God." It's like God's like, "Well, I'm going to reincarnate you and you're going to go live a life of hell." And then that happens. And then he gets reincarnated into a little girl who is very gifted with psychic abilities and gets drafted into the military. Like 11 years old. It's great. And then pretty much, he starts murdering everybody.
Yep.
It's really good because it's like, it's not only World War II kind of setting, but it's like World War II, but if it had like magic.
Looks like World War One.
Flying around, and it might be World War One, but
it's World War One.
Fine, World War One.
World War One with magic. What the fuck is this? Fucking Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal.
Full Metal Alchemist. Very good, very underrated. I don't know if there's another season coming, but what's out there now is pretty good. It's very, very underrated in my opinion. Also, the opening and ending, bangers.
Very solid. But yeah, should we move on to things that?
Yes.
The next thing.
My question here is, do you think the genre is oversaturated? Is there too much isekai?
Way too much.
Yes.
There's too much. It's like, I don't even think Shonen was this popular, where we just got a bunch of Shonen. Like, I mean, we got a couple, we got a handful, but we never got this many.
We got a lot of Shonen. I don't think.
Well,
I definitely feel like. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's just changed, right? Because Shonen was the big three that ran forever, and that was the commitment to Shonen.
And I feel like part of the reason that we're seeing this increase of isekai being put out so much, if we're being honest, it's one of the newer, if not the newest genre out there. Like, isekais didn't really start showing up, like being their own existence until around 2012. Look at, like, you can go back and say, oh, Isuru Nasara in the 80s. You know, the original one of Fruits Baskets was the 90s. Hunter x Hunter original 90s. You had Yu Yu Hakusho in the 80s. Sailor Moon in the late 70s with Magical Girl Shoujo. And then Astro Boy and, like, Gigantia. Like, all those other mech anime even in the, like, 60s. So, and then you had, like, the cyberpunk stuff with Akira in the early 80s. So it's like, okay, you turn
you're right. Around the turn of the century, right? Around the 2000s is really when we moved from mech anime to something different.
Yeah, so, like, and we've had, like, Shonen and stuff, like, because when you think about it, when we grew up with a lot of, like, Shonen and slice of life and stuff, or even sports anime, you know, like Slam Dunk and Blade and, like,
Prince of Tennis.
Yeah, Prince of Tennis. Oh yeah, Prince of Tennis. Like, and then we had the whole, like, card, or, like, I guess sub-genre of, like, Shonen game anime with, like, a Yu Yu Hakusho and Battle Beat 'em On and all that stuff. So
Duel Masters
and
Yu-Gi-Oh, not Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh and Battle Beat 'em On.
What?
It's just Yu Yu Hakusho just lives rent free in my head.
Bakugan.
Yeah.
Bakugan.
Oh Lord.
Chaotix.
Chaotic. Yeah. Cubics. I'm just playing. Mega Man even, like,
Cubics though.
Mega
the
Man
racing robots.
Yes.
Anyway.
Mega Man is very technically a card game. That's probably why I like it so much. Mega Man Battle Network, anyways.
Mega Man Battle Network is a chip-based game. Do not come at me. That's a card game. That's like saying that Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories is a card game.
It is technically.
That's not.
What do you think the chips do? That's like if you replaced if you replace the chip with the card, nothing changes.
It's a printed circuit board, not a piece of cardboard. Come at me. Anyways, I suppose in effect you were accurate.
Yeah. So
yes, it's oversaturated because the way that the popular market has moved. Even so far that we have, again, we have come full circle. Coming up in spring of 2023, we have Isekai Shokan wa Nidome Des. Summoned to another world for a second time.
I got turned into a dead.
No, this man. There was once a man who was summoned to another world and saved it. Of course, he became too popular there and turned into an isekai normie. When we use these terms, it really tells me where we've gotten. However, the man fell into a trap and was forcibly returned to his original world. Moreover, he had to start over as a baby. This story is the way to fantastic ex-hero living as a gloomy high schooler. It's a reverse isekai. I can't fuck with this shit. But yes. We've come full circle. We have vending machines, as you mentioned. We have spiders. We have slimes.
We have swords.
Swords. Yeah. We are doing literally anything anyone can think of with the genre. And at this point, the wheat filters out from the chaff, but there's just so much, it's hard to tell on first blush what's worth it. Now, we mentioned earlier, mech anime. And I had the question of, where's the mech anime?
Well,
but apparently there's an isekai that fits just what I'm looking for.
There's exactly and only one specific isekai you're looking for.
Great.
Knights and Magic. That's the only isekai anime that I know of that deals with mechs. Even though it still is technically a fantasy, as the magic part comes in, the knights and everything. But basically, so you have this guy. Gets reincarnated, super gunpla nerd.
Yo.
And he says first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make me a gunpla, but like an actual mech. And that's what the whole anime is about.
Riveting.
It's actually more entertaining than you think. It's pretty cool.
I'm sure it's a fun time.
Well, it goes over kind of like we talked earlier, it goes over the whole technical aspect of like how a mech would actually operate and work. How to get it to move around and everything is pretty cool. Oh yeah.
I guess Cross Ange wouldn't be isekai, mech isekai, would it?
No.
They do go to another world.
Yeah, but not like teleported, not like transported, not like other than like falling from society and seeing the underbelly of the world that she has like looked over.
No, they go to actual another world, remember?
I know they go to another world. Shit goes off the rail real early. But only after like the development of the story. Like that's the next big plot twist is, oh, by the way, the dragons aren't the bad guys, because they're in another dimension. But because we don't start with that, I'm gonna go with no. But Cross Ange is a fucking time.
It is.
So with that, what are some shows that are definitely isekais that aren't necessarily classified as such?
Well,
spit it.
Oh no, I was like, I definitely understood that. I had the reverse answer ready, but
it's fine. I mean, so the one modern take I could think. Well, yes, Digimon is one of them, but I was gonna let you.
Seven young kids go to camp
Dragon
for the summer.
Konosuba is very technically a reverse isekai. Very technically. You have someone else coming from one world to live in another world.
My issue with reverse isekai is the definition revolves around the protagonist.
Wait, what do you mean it's a reverse isekai? Kazuma goes to another world.
No.
Just a isekai.
Dragon Maid.
Oh, I thought you said Konosuba.
No,
Oh.
Dragon Maid.
Dragon Maid.
Yes.
Yeah. But no.
But yes.
But no. But no, because Kobayashi didn't go anywhere except the fucking park while she was drunk. That's it. Living in her house, going to work.
A whole other world comes to her.
Okay.
Very technically.
Aladdin is also.
He's got a whole new world?
No, because he doesn't show it to her. He can. He sure can. He can show you the world, but he doesn't.
Yeah, I would definitely say Digimon, because literally the first episode, they get transported to a whole new world. There's a song about it. There's a dope-ass cutscene where they're falling down a rainbow well, spinning back and forth, and it's literally the digital world. World.
World. Yes. Yes. Digimon. The OG. 7 young kids go to camp in the summer.
And they start playing it on the whistle.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely an isekai.
One I sort of mentioned earlier, Inuyasha.
Definitely an isekai.
Yes, it is.
Kagome out here just doing it up with the demons.
Kagome.
I love in the last episode, they go back to the real world. They fall for like the whole length of the 7-minute credits. That's the first time we see how long the tunnel is. That.
I feel like that's not necessarily true. We just fill in time, but that would be fun. Imagine Kagome just going in there and being like, "Here we go."
I'll wait 7 minutes, I guess.
Still kind of mad they didn't name their daughter Cake. It's fine.
Why would they name it Keiko?
Because, like, paying homage to her.
Keiko.
Sorry, Kikyo.
Okay, I'm like, Inuyasha.
Like, sure.
Right? Not
Kikyo.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Kikyo, my bad.
Yeah.
You can tell who lives rent-free in my head.
Yes.
Speaking of which, that's another isekai that could be technically an isekai, is Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, Truck-kun goes off to the spirit world. Yeah. Doing it big from episode 1.
Protag doesn't like his best life, which I still stand. Because somebody said that one anime, whatever it's called, Sad People.
That could be anything.
No, it's like
yeah, that one with the sad people. Super sad.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
Fantasy or not?
It's fantasy. It's the one. Give me like 36 seconds to remember what it is. But it's came out.
Male or female protagonist?
Male. It came out last year.
You got me. It's gonna be another hipster isekai, man. I don't know where we're going.
It might be. It was
World's Finest Assassin?
No. It's not even a
Call of the Night.
No, Call of the Night's really good. But it
Shadow of Imminence?
No, Shadow of Imminence is a really great isekai though.
Misfit of the Demon King.
No,
Academy.
It's
is it?
A 2-Year Eternity. 2-Year Eternity.
2-Year Eternity.
Yes, people were saying 2-Year Eternity had the best first episode of all time. I was like, no, it's definitely Yu Yu Hakusho. Which 2-Year Eternity is like also one that I feel like would be a isekai, but it's not.
Okay. Bleach. Do you think Bleach is an isekai?
I don't know. Like,
it's kind of okay. Here's my whole thing with that. So Bleach. It's kind of like, okay, with Dragon Ball, they technically go to different worlds, but it's like within the same kind of like.
Oh my god. Is Dragon Ball an isekai? Goku comes from the planet Vegeta to Earth. And we get to see his adventure.
I
I
would say
guess
yes.
super technically, yes.
Okay.
In that sense.
Dragon Ball's an isekai.
And then
All right.
whatever other genre just goes off the rails at some point.
I would say yes. We have, um, we have the whole thing with other universes.
I think my issue is that we can just keep tacking on isekai to like
Yeah.
everything. And that's part of the reason we have so much of it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that comes to mind is things that are definitely isekais that are definitely not isekais.
No, but there are a few things that I thought could be isekais that aren't.
Okay.
And,
Same vibe.
Is it wrong to pick up girls in the dungeon? I thought that was going to be isekai, but it is not.
It should be. It is wrong.
In High School
Sorry.
DxD, I, for the life of me, felt like that was, but technically he's just revived and he doesn't go into a different world. It's a parallel world aside his life. Y'all acting like it ain't got a bomb ass plot. I don't know what to
No,
tell
I
y'all.
was
No,
just
no,
thinking
that's not
that Misfit of Demon King Academy was like the PG High School DxD.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. Except,
that's not
Isekai
an
can never
isekai.
be honest. Issei? Yeah.
Well, Issei, I ain't worried about like Anos is the queen. Anyways, neither here. nor
What? I'm just.
He's the main character and the leader.
Yes. You
It's
said
fantastic.
queen, so I was just very confused.
I was like, wait, does
And
I mean,
Kelz
yeah,
know
the queen
something?
is the most powerful player on the chessboard, so yeah, he's.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The family. Anyway.
Okay, I get
Um,
it. I understand.
Oh, I get it. Yeah,
Yep. Okay. That
yeah,
makes sense.
because magic chess
Even
pieces.
High School DxD.
No, I watched it. I was just like, wait, did Kelz read ahead or something in the wiki?
No,
Did he go down the wiki
no.
rabbit hole and he's just
Oh, maybe she's the king. Apologies.
Rias, yes.
Oh yeah.
Rias.
Rias
yes.
is the king, yeah, and Ankano
That's
is
on me.
I was about to
That's
say, I was
on
like,
me. Assuming genders, my bad.
yeah, I was.
baby Ankano. That sounded weird, and since Zog wasn't here, I had to do something weird.
Yeah. Thanks for keeping the tradition.
Yeah.
In general, wrapping us out, isekais. How do you feel about them?
Like I said, I feel like they're very divisive. There are a lot of good ones. I'm enjoying that Imminent Shadow right now. And it's about to be one of my favorite isekais in a long time because it takes a different spin. Whole trope. I really enjoyed Carnage as a Slime, Mushoku Tensei. Those are some of my favorites. I love how extensive the world building is in both of those. I feel like, there's a lot of isekai that just get left by the wayside because they push out a dime a dozen. I wish we would focus on expunging those stories because I feel like a lot of isekai are promotional materials to sell the light novel. Like, because you'll find a really good isekai that gets one season, like Black Summoner or How to Build or How a Realistic Hero Rebuilds a Kingdom. And then you'll be like, okay, why would we just leave off here? Kind of like ending. Oh, because they want you to go buy the light novel. Or Chivalry of a Felt Knight is also another example of that, of like a really good thing that's just made to push you to go buy the light novel. So I wish we would
Yeah.
stop doing that and just flesh out the stories, but I have no say in the world of Japanese media. I'm just going to take what I can get in, I guess. That's my 2 cents.
I feel that 1,000%. Like, because I love animation and just seeing it as like a glorified commercial. Like, wow, I really liked the story. Oh, I have to go read. Well, that's not one of my favorite activities, I'll be honest. But I used to. Okay, middle school ruined my love of reading.
Why?
I have to get back into it. Why? Because
You
I
did
was
like
jumped
forced.
by a bunch
seven-
of One Piece fans?
No, because I was forced.
I was gonna say, did 7 books gang up on you at recess? But yeah, growth is challenging.
Oh gosh. No, I was just forced to read things I didn't like to read.
Where everybody gets their own Digimonster, a digital companion that makes you fucking read. Yeah, isekais, they're fun. Yeah, but no, like the movement to make a season to convince them to finish the book is kind of traditional, but instead of it being like, I don't know, a manga, it's now a light novel. So we're changing up the source material, source medium, but same formula of the way that the industry functions. Yeah. Isekais are rife with opportunity to tell the same story with a different tweak to make it fun, but we have gone beyond the event horizon.
I love isekais, but I am kind of tired of them. It's time to move on. Ready for the next.
Bring back the giant robots. Give me.
Yes, give me more. What's the good one that came out more recently?
Gundam?
Gridman?
No, I mean it's good, but
Mercury.
The one with the kids turning
86?
Kids turning into the robots. What's the?
Is it a fucking magical girl mech anime? Do not get my hopes up.
It's
the
why
kids,
can't I think of it?
Turn into their robots.
When did it come out?
I'm holding on. While you find this anime,
all right,
I'll wrap the show. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Content Breaker. You can catch us on all your podcasters. Talk Spotify, it's Amazon Podcasts, YouTube as well at Content Breaker. Of course, catch us on the social media, Twitter. We're kind of there at Content Breaker. Gentlemen, you have stuff too. Kai, what's up?
Yes, you can find me at StyleDreads on Twitter, where I've somehow amassed followers.
That's what I'm talking about.
Please. Yay.
Gridman.
What?
Gridman.
You say it slower.
Gridman.
Oh, the thing that he said?
Yes, the thing that I said. Speaking of, Kai, you and I need to watch SSSS Gridman.
Yes.
I was focused.
Dynaman or whatever comes after it.
Yeah.
Strange, plug your stuff.
Look for Strangely Entertaining on the YouTube and the Twitch, where on Twitch I will usually stream Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
7. Moving down in the time clock. That's what I'm talking about. 7 p.m. Sounds reasonable. Looking forward to it. Gentlemen, we have a schedule that we are keeping to, and we have yet another topic next week. Are you ready for our conversation on the best beach episode in anime?
I'm ready. I'm curious how this is going to work if everybody hasn't watched the same one, but
I just assume we're just going to punch each other until one of us says we're right or something.
I mean, clearly I'm right, but also, y'all have middling to positive taste. So, we'll agree on some stuff.
I feel a little targeted.
Next week on Content Breaker.